As a police officer, what is the saddest thing you have ever seen while on the job? I am not a cop, I am a firefighter, but my partner at the time was an officer, and due to this event he took his life. I am telling this story in the hopes it helps others learn from this mistake. New Year's Eve and I was on the 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. shift. My partner James was also working the midnight shift at the station. The fire and police buildings are right next to each other, and being New Year's Eve, each of the stations were having a small get-together. The cops came over to one of our empty bays and we were sitting down eating and talking about how much it sucked being on this shift. No alcohol to see the New Year's in. We always had a high amount of calls due to fireworks being illegally set off, and they always had a high number of violence and public nuisance calls. Our alarm went off. We jumped up and threw our jackets on before even checking our pager or the emergency information computer service. The boys next door got the same call and we went out code 1 with the police escorting. We arrived on scene just before midnight. I think it was like 1:45. A young woman was standing on the edge of the building. It isn't a massive height, but it doesn't matter. She wouldn't survive if she fell. We all knew it. Crew leader shouted to get the ground covered and the cops started talking to her. James had been handed the job. He told me it was because he was the youngest, that he would be able to relate more to her. She started crying and saying she didn't want to do it. It was a mistake. She just felt so alone that she just wanted it to stop. Then she said that it was too late. She had to do it because she had already done everything she needed to. James started to tell her that it didn't matter if everything was in its place. She didn't need to do it and they would help her. He started telling her that 2 people would be going into the building and would meet her at the window to help her down, that she wasn't alone and everybody here was going to support her. No one was here to hurt her. All those really cliché things you hear in movies, but James had a way with people. He could tell you the sky was green and you would believe every word. Every word coming out of his mouth was filled with nothing but love and concern. I love that man, and even now he's gone, I still miss him. Things were going fine. We had been given the access code to the building. The cops had rung ambulance and requested the enhanced crisis assessment team. The young girl had calmed down and was trying to climb back into the window. She must have missed a step or slipped on something because within seconds she was falling. Nobody had expected it. Even with the ambulance guys working on her for a solid 15 minutes, she was pronounced dead. Coroner was called. Here's the bit that messed my partner JM's up enough that he couldn't take it anymore. When she had told them that she had taken care of everything, she had meant her 2 children, one 3 months old and the other 4 years. They were found dead in their beds, cuddled up to their toys. Photos taken showed them looking like they were simply sleeping. The note they found on the table was begging forgiveness from God for what she had done. The coroner stated that if they had been found within 15 minutes of us arriving, the 4-year-old may have had a small chance of surviving, although serious brain damage would have probably occurred. James always blamed himself for not sending an officer in the minute they got there. We were evaluated as to why the fire department didn't have a fall mat. The first responders were suspended and James couldn't live with himself. As much crap as the media and society puts on cops for their mistakes, it doesn't come close the amount of pressure and anger they hold on themselves. I lost James in the autumn of the new year. He would have been 26 in August. This may not be the saddest story here, but it's a story that has ruined a number of families' lives, and to this day I am distraught by the events of that day.